No one expected this. David Lee Roth just shocked Coachella. The desert air at Coachella always carries a certain kind of electricity, the kind that makes you feel like anything can happen once the sun dips below the horizon. But this time, there was something different in that energy, something heavier, more nostalgic, almost like the past itself was about to step back into the spotlight. Rumors had been swirling for weeks, whispers across fan forums and social media feeds. When the stage lights finally dimmed and the crowd's roar began to rise, no one knew exactly what to expect, but everyone felt it coming. Then, without warning, the first guitar chord ripped through the night like a lightning strike, and the massive screens flickered to life. A silhouette appeared, lean, unmistakable, moving with that signature confidence that hadn't faded with time. And just like that, David Lee Roth was back. Not just back in a quiet, nostalgic way, but back in full force, commanding the stage. As if he had never left it. The crowd erupted instantly, a wave of disbelief and excitement crashing together as fans realized they were witnessing something far bigger than just another festival performance. There was no slow build-up, no hesitation. Roth launched straight into the performance with a level of energy that felt almost surreal. His voice, still carrying that recognizable edge, cut through the music with authority. He didn't just sing, he performed, moving across the stage with that same unpredictable charisma that had once made him one of the most electrifying frontmen in rock history. Every gesture, every step, every grin felt intentional, like he was reminding the world exactly who he was. What made the moment even more powerful was the contrast. Coachella is known for its modern lineup, its focus on current trends, electronic sounds, and new artists shaping the future of music. Yet, here was a figure from a completely different era, stepping into that space and completely owning it. It wasn't just nostalgia carrying the moment, it was presence. Pure, undeniable presence. Younger fans who may have only known Roth through clips and stories suddenly found themselves caught in the same magnetic pull that had captivated audiences decades ago. The visuals added another layer to the experience. Bright, explosive lighting. Effects pulsed in sync with the music, blending old-school rock aesthetics with modern production. But even with all the high-tech enhancements, it was clear that the real focus remained on Roth himself. He didn't need to compete with the visuals. He became the centerpiece, the energy source driving everything forward. At one point, he paused, mid-performance, scanning the massive crowd in front of him, almost as if taking in the reality of the moment. And then, with a smirk, he leaned into the mic and delivered a line that sent the audience into another frenzy. It wasn't just about the music, it was about the comeback story. For years there had been questions, speculation, and even doubt about whether Roth would ever return to a stage like this. The rock scene had changed, the industry had evolved, and many believed that moments like these belonged to the past. But standing there under the Coachella lights, Roth wasn't just revisiting history, he was rewriting it. He was proving that presence, charisma, and raw performance power don't simply disappear with time. The band backing him matched that intensity, delivering tight, powerful instrumentals that kept the momentum alive. The chemistry between Roth and the musicians was undeniable, creating a sound that felt both classic and fresh at the same time. It wasn't about recreating the past exactly as it was. It was about bringing its spirit into the present, adapting it, and making it resonate with a new generation of listeners. As the performance continued, the crowd became more than just an audience. It became part of the show. People were singing along, jumping, recording, and sharing the moment in real time. Social media exploded almost instantly, clips spreading. Across platforms as viewers from around the world tuned in to see what was unfolding. It wasn't just a concert anymore, it was an event, a cultural moment that bridged decades of music history in a single night. Roth seemed to feed off that energy, pushing himself even further as the set progressed. There were moments where he slowed things down, letting the crowd catch its breath, only to ramp things back up again with explosive intensity. That ability to control the pace, to take the audience on a journey rather than just delivering songs one after another, was part of what made his performance so compelling. It wasn't just about what he was doing, it was about how he was making people feel. And as the first part of the set reached its peak, there was a sense that something bigger was building, the kind of anticipation that makes every second feel longer, every sound more intense. The crowd knew they were witnessing something rare, something that wouldn't be easily replicated. And Roth, standing at the center of it all, looked completely in control, like this was exactly where he was meant to be. As the night deepened and the desert sky turned into a canvas of darkness lit only by stage lights and distant stars, the performance shifted into something even more powerful. It wasn't just about proving he could still do it. It was about reminding everyone why he had ever mattered in the first place. David Lee Roth wasn't chasing relevance. He was redefining it on his own terms. There was a moment when the music softened, the instruments pulling back just enough to let his voice take center stage. The crowd, once roaring and jumping, became almost still, hanging onto every word. It was in that silence that the weight of the comeback truly settled in. This wasn't just another appearance, it was a statement, a declaration that time may pass, trends may change, but true presence doesn't fade. Then, just as quickly as the calm had arrived, it shattered. The beat dropped harder, louder, and Roth exploded back into motion with a burst of energy that felt almost defiant. It was as if he was challenging every doubt, every expectation, every assumption that had been made about him over the years. And the crowd responded instantly, louder than before, feeding that energy back into the stage in an endless loop. What stood out most wasn't just the performance itself, but the authenticity behind it. There was no attempt to pretend he was something he wasn't. He didn't try to fit into the modern Coachella mold. Instead, he brought his own identity, his own style, and let it exist unapologetically in that space. And somehow that made it feel even more relevant than anything else happening around it. The camera angles sweeping across the crowd captured faces filled with excitement, surprise, and pure enjoyment. Some fans were clearly longtime followers, singing every word with familiarity. Others looked like they were discovering him for the first time, reacting with the kind of awe that only comes from witnessing something unexpected and powerful. That blend of generations, all connected by a single performance, gave the moment an even deeper significance. Roth's interaction with the audience added another layer to the experience. He didn't just perform to them, he performed with them. There were moments where he encouraged them to sing louder, to move more, to become part of the show rather than just observers. And they responded every time, turning the massive festival